need a high-end designer or a lot of money to get a luxe look. Be your own interior designer.
This is Affordable Interior Design, the podcast.
Here's your host, Betsy Helmuth.
Kara again. But here she has a question. Hi, Betsy. I'm really enjoying listening to your podcast, and I purchased your book, which I hope I will get soon. I submitted a question about my gym and my living room recently. You sure did. You just did. And I love getting to know you more and answering this next question. You continue. I could use your ideas around shopping. I hate shopping. I worry about wastefulness and get very anxious about labor practices and environmental impacts. I sometimes get stuck doing tons of research and then never buying anything. Often I end up doing a secondhand thing for this reason, but I'd like to buy a few things for the house that are new that we actually bought. Do you have any go-to brands that you can recommend or ideas so I can feel less worried and enjoy decorating our house more? Thank you so much, Kara. All right, Kara. For most of my clients, I buy only new things because buying used things or buying like antiques are very difficult because there's only one of them, right? So if they sell out before my client can get to them, we have no options. So at my design firm, I shop exclusively retail, which does lead to waste, right? Now, when I'm looking for something environmentally friendly, I look for pieces that say they have that California standard approved, right? Because California appears to have the strongest sort of environmental policies for furniture. And you can find pieces that meet those California standards at places like Pottery Barn, West Elm, Williams-Sonoma, Wayfair. You just want to look at the fine print. That way you can make sure you're not getting that formaldehyde or those other sort of chemicals that are often found in more affordable type furniture pieces. In terms of stores, I use a huge mix, and it's very dependent on my client's budget as well as their style. And when I'm shopping for them, I don't always think about the environmental impact. It's more about how they're going to get rid of the pieces that they already have, whether they're donating, whether they're selling them on Facebook Marketplace. And, with my personal clients, they're not obligated to buy the pieces I recommend. So if they do want to wait to find something similar or the exact same piece on Facebook Marketplace or Cherish or, First Dibs, that's completely up to them. For me personally, I usually, in the past, have just bought retail with a sprinkling of some older pieces that align with my style. In my last home, it was very mid-century modern, so I was able to buy a few true mid-century modern pieces from that era. And then, of course, mid-century modern is such a popular contemporary look right now that I was able to easily fold in those retail pieces. It all looked super cohesive. And I was moving from a small apartment in Brooklyn, so I needed additional pieces. Nothing went to waste. I was able to reuse everything from our apartment, but in different rooms. Now, when I moved to this house is so antique-y and has such a different vibe. Like there's no mid-century modern going on organically in this house, that a lot of what I selected for my previous house just isn't going to fly, right? It had silver metal finishes. This house is very brass, very bronze. I just wanted sort of that fresh start, especially because those previous pieces had been around since my kids were like 3 and 4, and they'd seen better days. So I totally understand the desire to want to be more eco-friendly, but I think the main thing is how you get rid of your pieces. When I was moving out of our space in Dobbs Ferry, that mid-century modern type vibe, I gave away a lot on the Buy Nothing Facebook page. I am a huge fan of the Buy Nothing Facebook pages from your personal area. I immediately join whenever I move, and I am very active because I hate buying things like cleats for my son for his mini sports adventures, because he outgrows them so quickly and only uses them for a short time that they're not even really fully used, and they are so expensive. So for sporting equipment, for really everything and anything, including moving boxes, Buy Nothing was just a godsend. And so I think of it as truly paying it forward when I gave away almost everything from our past house. I didn't really sell any of it. I gave it all away on buy nothing because I wanted to just, in gratitude, thank everyone for how wonderful they'd been to me. And then it allowed me to purchase new things that felt really perfect for this house versus having to compromise all the time. So I admire your eco-friendly stance. And I think it's really important to do a mix if that's the style you're going for. But if it's not the style you're going for, I'd rather you just have pieces that you really love, that you're really excited about. And sometimes that means investing a little bit more so that you don't change the piece out too soon. Because when we do buy super cheapy stuff, sometimes it means that it's going to return to the landfill sooner. I mean, we don't even want to give away really cheapy stuff, right? So it means that it's going to be more trash, more waste than value in the long run. So these are all things to think about, Kara. But the bottom line is, I don't have one go-to store that I'm just always looking at because no one store does everything right. So if you're saying, Betsy, where can I find a mid-century style sofa that's high quality? Well, I could certainly point you in the direction of my personal favorite store is Room and Board, right? But I really need that specific thing and that specific price point as well as the style to know exactly where to direct you. A big thank you to Aton and the Embassy who wrote our theme song. A shout out to Catherine Heller who owns the podcast shop and is our editor extraordinaire. We also want to thank Ginny Sunasan and her team at the Savvy Podcast Agency for their help with our social, our YouTube channel, and so much more. We also want to thank Uploft, which is our parent company who supports this podcast. And lastly, we owe a huge debt of gratitude to you. Thank you so much for tuning in and for all your support.